Good morning, Ruskin Endurers. I hope you're alright because it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Now, I'm going to just jump straight in and start yapping about the first 24 hours of sales because I was pleasantly surprised. Right, go back to my Rust rotation video. Go look and see how positive I was with the choices of these skins for this Rust. I thought this was going to get a lot of attention. I thought this was going to sell ever so nicely. Well, after 24 hours, it really didn't sell that much. Now, Frog Chair, you're okay. I don't think there's too much of a problem with you, but I was pleasantly surprised with the likes of the Redemption Python, making the comparisons to the Blackout Python with the aim sight, the transparent aim sight, I should clarify. I thought that would sell just as much. But looking at this with only 6,000 subscribers, what? And then with the likes of the Ultramarine Sleeping Bag, the fourth deplorable skin from the Ultramarine collection to be accepted in a row, and, well, only 6,000 subscribers. Heavy Knight, Hoodie and Pants, I wasn't very sure if we're definitely going to see the likes of the sequel to the Heavy Knight jacket, but it happened. And it only got less than 6,000 subscribers. And then Cargo Heli Tier 2. Now, I'm kind of not surprised that this didn't sell too much, because not everybody is fully aware that it's kind of good camouflage. Yeah, you don't notice the orange that much, but I'll talk more about that a little bit later. So that only did 4,000 plus subscribers, barely. So what we're going to do with the likes of this video is we're now going to go ahead and try and figure out how much will this sell by the time we have the Rust rotation next week. And does it still look to be perfectly fine as an investment? So sit back, relax. There's a lot to yap about. Right, first of all, what's going on with the declining, amount of skins being sold? So compare this to the likes of the past few weeks. Decent amount of sales here from 4 weeks ago. It does slightly go down a bit, and then it goes down a fair bit more, and then we have this Rust store. Now, I don't think this week is that bad compared to the previous week, but still, I thought this was going to do so much better. So what potentially could be the reason? I think I have a hunch. People were also bringing this up to me, but basically it's the end of August. Those kids are probably well aware that they've got school very soon, and they probably just don't feel inclined to keep spending their pocket money on, skins. It's as simple as that. So, of course, I've been yapping about this so much as of recent. The autumn seasonal dip, it's coming, but yeah, it's quite literally next week. So September's about to roll in, kids go back to school, less people playing the game, less demand for skins, lower skin prices. It's inevitable, but it happens every single year. And as I said, that very likely could be the reason why. Why would they want to spend money on skins for a game they're not going to be able to play as much over the course of the next few months? You get the idea. Cool. So I should point this out. August 2024 has been wonderful. Like, the average player count for this month so far has been outstanding, especially when you compare it to the likes of last year. Like, we actually got 3 months this year with over 90,000 average player count in a row. So that's been absolutely awesome. If you've seen skin prices during the likes of this summer, it's been great. Like, so much better compared to the likes of that post-Christmas we had earlier this year. Ugh. So things are looking good. It was looking good, but now things are expected to go down, so I'm sure I've got that point across now. So yeah, the lower purchases very likely due to the fact that just, kids just aren't, super eager to spend money now. So, all right, fair enough. Is that going to be, very prominent as we roll into, likes of September, October, November? Well, we'll see. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Right, so as you look at this, you might think, oh, is this the first 48 hours of sales? No. I'm actually recording this in the morning on the Sunday. But don't worry. I did take a screenshot of what was the first 48 hours of sales. Now, just to quickly point out, I wasn't feeling very well last night. I thought, you know what, I'll just take a screenshot. I'll go to bed. I could just record it a little bit later. Well, it is a bit later now, isn't it? But yeah, I've got this. Don't worry. This is what I'm going to measure by, so you get the idea. Right. Before we even proceed to start yapping about all the individual skins, I have to bring this up. I mentioned it during my Rust rotation video, and I'm going to mention it again here. All the skins here are abnormal this week. Every single one. All 10 of them. Now, if you don't understand the very, 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 very good thing about that, I'll just briefly explain as much as I can. Basically, the likes of abnormal skins, they become marketable, before the Rust store even rotates. So, let me just quickly bring up the likes of my most recent Abnormal Barda video. If you don't fully understand what abnormals are, please consider watching the first 5 minutes of this video right here, Rust Skin Abnormal Bardas for August 22, 2024, and scroll down after about 5 minutes, skip ahead to the chapter that says the buy orders. After watching all of that, you basically get a very good idea of how this all works. In short, all of these skins, they become marketable at a set time, we'll figure out prices, we'll put them down as fast as possible, but after that, these will be on the Steam market for about 12 to 20 hours whilst also being in the Rust store. And we can see the level of interest that these skins have and consider, well, do you know what? Maybe that does look to be a perfectly reliable looking investment to actually buy straight from the Rust store. Let's just give you a quick example. Frog chair. Let's say, as you can see right here, it's selling at $1.99. We do the abnormal barders, and we see the barders going all the way up to about $1.80. Let's say someone put down a $1.80 barder of 100 quantity, you know? Looking at that skin with that type of barder, you'd think, you know what? That doesn't look like it's going to dramatically go down in price anytime soon. It's going to go through all of those barders at $1.80, and then it'll start probably going down. And you know what? That kind of looks a bit reliable. It looks like it's got enough support to keep the price up for it to reliably, potentially, survive the likes of the dreaded autumn-fall seasonal dip and rise up ever so nicely during the likes of post-Christmas and towards the likes of the summer of 2025. Basically, we can see what the barter support looks like and then consider that if we actually want to jump in and make the purchases. Sounds good? And that applies to every single skin here. A very useful time advantage. So now that we've got that across, let's now go ahead and start yapping about these skins individually and figure out how much will they sell by, when the Rust rotates next Thursday. Okay. Starting off with the likes of the frog chair. There's quite a lot to unpack with this, so brace yourselves. With the likes of this chair, I thought, you know what, maybe the frog collection might, have a bit of a boost. That didn't really happen. Looking at all of these skins here, you can see that Right, so for example, we have the frog door right here, and, well, when the chair was accepted, it didn't really sell that much because someone went and jumped in and dumped 30 listings. Yep. Other people exist. It happened again. So, it actually went down in price, unfortunately. I know. Other people, they're meddling. So that's quite unfortunate. But just looking at all the other skins as well, they really didn't move that much. The small box, the tools, the furnace, nothing really changed too much. This is a bit unfortunate. But at the very least, on the horizon, you never know. Maybe Ideal produces another frog skin. Maybe it does get accepted. We shall see. But there's another thing I also should point out. Have you seen this from the likes of, Face Punch's Twitter, Rust Twitter? If I quickly showcase this, just quickly mute that, as we slowly bring our gaze up to the sky, what do we see? It's a frog boot hat. Now, this hasn't, properly been officially revealed, other than this, but it's a frog boot hat. You can clearly see that on the guy's head. It's stylish, as you can see of this wonderful-looking gentleman right here. Are we going to get a lot of people suddenly wanting frog skins to pair up with the likes of this? Potentially, maybe. But if you can recall, the frog boots were given away for free to everyone who bought Rust whilst it was in early access. With the likes of that, I don't fully know how that's going to be given away, but I think it's a Twitch drop. We're getting Twitch drops during September. It's going to happen. And we have a special event that hasn't been officially announced yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll be happening soon. Keep an eye on Twitter. So, would the likes of this hat potentially boost the interest for the frog collection as a whole, or would it not really happen? We don't know, but it's a potential positive I had to address. Now, another thing I just want to bring up to you is, are there any other skin creators producing chairs? Let's look in the workshop. I haven't seen anything yet. No other chairs have been located, but another skin just appeared right there. Very nice, very cool. And, keep an eye on the likes of my brand new Rust Workshop Skin Checks collection, which will be available for August 27, 2024. I mumbled when I said that, don't worry. Right, so there are some potential nice things that could happen, but if we do see more chairs being produced, sadly, that's not so special anymore. Do you remember when we started suddenly getting a lot of ponchos being made and accepted? The initial ones when they're accepted, oh, cool, yeah, I'm not surprised to see the likes of the, let me just bring this up. Arctic Protection Poncho was accepted. It did 30,000 plus sales, but after that, more and more and more started to appear, and suddenly this wasn't so special, because before we used to hardly see any of them, and then suddenly after that, insane amounts. When you look at ponchos now, they don't really do very well, but before, every single one of them was in the positive very highly. But that was the call to all the skin creators to suddenly start producing their own ones, and then we got an absurd amount being accepted. So could that potentially happen to likes of chairs? I don't really want that to happen, but I can't stop skin creators from wanting to do things they want to do. Now I have to bring this up. Maybe chair skins aren't very fun to make. It might be a little bit awkward, who knows, But all we can really do is wait for the next 2 or so days. Most of the Rust skin submissions usually appear on a Monday, so keep your eyes open, keep an eye on the workshop. You can also use micro522.com, which will be linked in the description. You can look at this, just click date submitted once, and you'll see all the newest skins that have been submitted. Just hover over the titles and you'll get a quick glimpse of all of them, more specifically this week here. Cool. Right, so as of now, looking at the state of things, it looks as if it's going to be in a pretty interesting spot, mostly. But let's talk specifically. How much is this expected to sell by Thursday? Well, if I were to do a quick comparison back over to here again, looking at the first initial 24 hours of sales, if I were to go over to the previous week, we have 2 perfect examples right here. Heavy Night Jacket with 8,400 subscribers and Neon Dome Sheet Metal Double Door with 8,000 subscribers, which pairs up quite nicely with the initial 8,300 subscribers we had there. Well, you know what? I could also bring up the likes of the previous week's 48-hour analysis, just to see their momentum at that given point. At 11,700 subscribers and 11,200 subscribers, hopping back over to here, looking at the 48 hours we see here, it's basically matching up perfectly to the jacket. And we know how much that jacket sold by the end of the week. So looking at here one more time, what do we see? I'm clicking a picture because I'm an idiot. We saw that it did just about 19,000 subscribers. Now, last week when I was looking at these two, I thought they were going to do about 20,000 subscribers. It fell just short. But I can sit here and say, with a reasonable amount of confidence, this is going to probably do between 18 to 20,000 subscribers. The reason why I'm suggesting a little bit more is I get the feeling a lot of people are going to probably wait until the very last second and then buy their chairs. And they might be buying a lot of them. As I said earlier, when I was talking about the likes of the abnormal skins and whatnot, a lot of people might be jumping in at the very last second. So that right there, 18 to 20,000 subscribers, not too bad. I think that's okay. But you know what? We could do a real quick comparison with the likes of all the other chair skins that exist. But a bit of a problem. It's the first chair skin to be accepted in 4 years. And let me tell you, there's a lot more people playing now compared to previously. So that's already the top-selling chair skin. We can't compare the other skins, unfortunately. It is what it is. So, all right. We've got the general idea. Let's move on. Let's talk about the likes of the Ultramarine Sleeping Bag. Now, this is going to be very easy to figure out. Basically, looking at this, if I go back over to here, we can see that after 2 days, it did 9,000 subscribers. But if I quickly hop back over to the likes of here and see it did 6,000 subscribers, look at the previous week. Did anything else do 6,000 subscribers? Oh, look, what's that right there? The Ultramarine Sheet Metal Door. Now, it had a little bit more sales. That's interesting. But again, if I go to the likes of the previous week and look at the likes of the Sheet Metal Door right there, 2 days in, it had 8,548 subscribers. If I look at the likes of this over here, I can confirm to you that the sleeping bag is selling more. So, where did that Sheet Metal Door end up at? Back over to here, we can see that it reached up to 14,628 subscribers. About 14,500 subscribers. That's what we're going to roll with. Alright, cool. So, the sleeping bag very likely will sell a little bit more than this. Now, if you can remember, with the likes of my Rust rotation stream and video, I looked at that and initially I thought, maybe this doesn't sell too much. Maybe it's not going to be the most popular skin considering what else we had here and whatnot. And maybe it ends up exactly like how the Abyss sleeping bag, performed. That's no longer the case. I do not think this is going to happen anymore because basically 2.5 days in, we've already matched up to it almost. But yeah, that a year ago only did 11,300 subscribers, which was really low for a collection that popular. And I knew there's definitely going to be more deplorables accepted after this and whatnot. Pretty sure it's going to have a wonderful post-Christmas and summer of 2024, and lo and behold, it doubled in price very easily because there's only so much of it to go around. That's exactly what we mentioned earlier. So that, unfortunately, will be selling more. Oh dear, oh dear. But it's still looking to be perfectly fine. Now, do you feel confident we'll see another Ultramarine skin being accepted potentially next week? I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's got to stop at some point, but I'm confident Geber, I don't know how to pronounce his name, I'm very sorry. I'm pretty confident he'll be producing another deplorable skin. I'm pretty confident I'll be seeing it right here in just a day's time. And hey, it's up to Face Punch. They're the ones who made the decision. But it could be 5 in a row consecutively, we shall see. And with every skin that's been accepted after the other one, that's stayed in the positive, that stayed in the positive, that stayed in the positive. Things are looking good. But when it stops, that's where I think things will suddenly stop and start going down, down, down. So we'll see how this turns out. But yeah, that's looking like it's going to probably do around 14 to 16,000 subscribers. Yes. I think I will specifically No, 14 to 16 sounds about right. Yeah, we'll roll with that. So let's see how that turns out by Wednesday night. I will be streaming. Please consider looking in the description right now. See the links to all my socials, more specifically my Twitch. On Wednesday night, I will be looking at all the skins. I will be figuring out prices. And of course, we'll be doing the buy orders. And that right there is looking appealing, even though it's selling a little bit more than expected. Do you know what? Look at all the sleeping bags we had this year. And you can see we didn't have, not too long ago, we had the likes of the sleeping baguette. Sold a little bit more, but you know what? It's only down by 7%. So we could probably get a good idea of how this potentially might behave over the course of the next few months. We shall see. We shall see. Okay, cool. So we'll save that and move on to the next skin. Here we have the Redemption Python. And just to quickly look at the likes of these two skins here, this is only like 300 less compared to the likes of this. So by default, I think this is going to be doing 14 to 16,000 subscribers as well. That was very quick, wasn't it? But we've really got to bring this point up. With the arrival of this Python, and remember, I did make those comparisons. Hop over to likes of my YouTube. You can see this video right here. In 60 seconds, I pretty much immediately showcased the point of they have the exact same aim sight as the likes of the Python here, the Blackout Python here. And that Blackout Python, it was $15, but with the arrival of a much more affordable option, well, what's happened to the likes of that? It's gone down to just below $13. Still high, but gone down by about $2. We shall see what becomes of that in the future. But if we were to just quickly look at all of these Python skins based on highest subscriber count, you can clearly see that the Blackout Python is king with 19,300. This right here, if it ends up with 14 to 16,000 subscribers, it might end up being in a top 5. But it's still quite a fair bit less compared to the likes of that. And knowing that this is part of the Redemption collection, which has been doing pretty good, like over this past summer, at one point, nearly all of the weapon skins were in the positive, and the tier 2 and whatnot. Like, this is a fairly decent collection. Now, I'm pretty sure the skin creator is motivated. We'll be seeing another weapon skin coming out fairly soon, and Hoodie and Pants just on the horizon. There's plenty more where that came from. This collection, it's got reasonable demand. That Python, with its transparent aim sight, I can't help but assume with all these nice positive things, it's going to work out quite nicely for it. It's not selling as much as the Blackout Python. It's a lot cheaper. The collection is in demand. It might go down initially for a bit, you know. It might go down in price, not too much, but a bit, over the course of these next few months. The dreaded autumn fall seasonal dip, but post-Christmas, summer of 2025, I can't help but assume it's going to be working out ever so nicely. Will it rise up? By a lot. I don't think it's going to go insane, but I can imagine it selling, reaching up to a nice point, and maybe about $4, maybe above. Maybe it does, but hey, if I bought those at $2.50 and they went up to $4, I wouldn't complain. But yeah, we'll talk more about that on Wednesday night, discussing prices and whatnot, and of course, you know, how we approach it afterwards. But it is in a very, very, very interesting spot, so we'll use the time to our advantage. And yeah, you get the idea. So 14 to 16,000 subscribers as well for a very special looking Python skin. Moving on. Hellborn AK47. It's a good looking AK, and there's one thing I just want to bring up to the likes of all of you lot. With the likes of the aim sight here, well, you got the eyeball staring at you. Is that distracting? I was kind of questioning that, but I really would like to hear your comments. So feel free to mention that. But yeah, good looking AK, and it's not the glow-in-the-dark one. Oh. So that's a good thing. Anyway, AKs as investments. But I'm not really here to talk about that. I'm here to talk more specifically in regards to what would the outcome be for the total sales. And again, this is like just a fair bit less compared to the likes of the Python. Again, I'm going to look at this and I'm going to sit here and say I expect it to be 14. But, you know, I don't think it's going to go by 15,000 subscribers. No, it's going to go 14 to 15,000 subscribers, this one. That's where I think it's going to be. And if you're thinking, hey, I like the skin, then by all means, mate, go buy it. Buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creator, keep the nicer motivated, keep wanting to put out nice creative designs in the future. But all you got to do is just take a quick look at the likes of all the other AKs that came out this year, and do not be surprised to see the state of that, because unfortunately, especially with the more recent ones that just became available in Rust stores, they go down pretty quick. Yes, we have far too many skins to compare to. That Bird of Luck AK, which sold for $3, is already down to basically $1. Yep. Look at the likes of the Heli Tier. Oh, sold for $2, is now 78 cents. Deep Monster, $2.96. Oh dear, oh dear. So yeah, that very likely will be a barter. Even though it's selling at $2.49, I'm very sorry to say. But hey, if you like it, buy it. Treat yourself and support the skin creator. But yeah, 14 to 15,000 subscribers. Moving on. Heavy Knight Hoodie and Pants. Right, so the main talking point was, we started off with the likes of the jacket skin, didn't we? I wasn't 100% sure we're definitely going to see the likes of the hoodie and pants being accepted, considering these were actually submitted before this. But they're accepted. Cool. All right. And if you've seen the likes of the video, little short video I have here, showcasing all of that, I am your knight in shining armor. I'm looking ever so nice and flashy. Anyway, looks really good. I've got to give props to the skin creators, and I do like this set. I really got to bring this up. So much so that I actually offered them a suggestion. We haven't had a longsword in 7 years. Considering that we just got our first chair skin in 4 years, I thought, you know what? A longsword with the heavy knight set. Everything's aligning there perfectly, so we'll see what becomes of that, but I think we're getting a longsword skin for the Heavy Knight set soon, so keep an eye on the workshop. We shall see what that becomes. Anyway, that right there is now sitting at $6.78. If you saw my video yapping about the skins after the first 24 hours of sales, I talked about how this was sitting here at $8. Take the money whilst you can. I hope you did. Still in a very, 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 very good spot compared to where it was literally just last week, but yeah, I don't think this price will be holding forever. However, on the horizon, we can anticipate potentially more of this collection. I'm sure I've already brought this up to you, but we already have the likes of the Tier 3 armor being submitted. It's perfectly available. You never know, maybe instantly next week, we shall see, but yeah. The more the merrier for the likes of that jacket skin, and of course for the likes of the hoodie and pants here. But total sales. What are you going to reach up to? Because with the likes of the Heavy Knight jacket reaching around 19,000 subscribers, no, I do not think that's going to match up to that. So 2 days in, these did around, let's just round it up and say 8,500 subscribers, which is fairly close to that. But I would, yeah, this is going to probably do between 14 to 15,000 subscribers. Yeah, that feels like a perfectly fine amount to suggest. All right, is that an absurd amount? Not really, but it is kind of normal. So, yeah, there's plenty of potential continuations, and that might be coming out on the horizon. And I know the skin creators put out good work consistently, so keep your eyes open. Keep an eye on the workshop. You know how it works. So, yeah, soon. Right then, now we have to move on to the likes of the Cargo Heli Tier 2. So, I've already brought this up. The guy that made this fleck, he's the man behind the likes of interesting collections such as Desert Raiders and Forest Raiders. We know he will be putting out the works for the likes of continuations, but more specifically, this Tier 2 set, whilst it has that orange coloration, it's got the transparency, and it's got a bit of green. Now, when I was doing my Rust Rotation stream, someone gave me the suggestion of, well, do you reckon you could just wear that with the likes of flashbacks and just see how good it looks when you're kind of standing in the grassy areas, some bushes, the foresty areas? And it turns out, when you're just a bit of a distance away from someone wearing this armor, the orange disappears. You know, like that carbon face mask, where once you're a distance away, it looked like they weren't even wearing anything? I think it's due to the transparency in this as well. The orange just disappears, and it looks as if the guy's just wearing green. And it's not that far away. So I will be putting a video out tomorrow. After you've seen this, it'll be the next day. And we'll be comparing this to the likes of flashbacks. We'll be comparing this to the likes of Forest Raiders. And, of course, we'll be comparing it with the likes of Reptile Hunter as well. Just to see, does it actually work well as camouflage for grassy green areas? Like, you know, the price of Forest Raiders being what it is at the moment, like $300+ for the full set. Is it even that worth it? So keep an eye out for the likes of that. This, still though, 6,000 subscribers 2 days in, that's really low. If I were to just do a real quick comparison, did anything do 6,000 subscribers the previous week after 2 days in? And we have the Rainbow Pony pump shotgun to look at. All right, cool. So let's go take a look at the likes of that over to here, see what the outcome was like. And this reached up to 9,744 subscribers. Okay, so we could probably look at the likes of our Cargo Heli Tier 2 and suggest 9,000 to 10,000 subscribers, but I think that's really low, especially considering that potentially could be the most budget affordable alternative option for the likes of Forest Raiders. With the likes of flashbacks, which of course is very cheap, the hoodie and pants, yeah, but by default, guys, on the horizon, we could still get Cargo Heli hoodie and pants and Tier 3 and boots and gloves. So lots of potential positivity, and yet it's selling so very little. So, yeah, I'm looking at that with a bit of optimism. Are you? Well, consider it. So, yeah, 9 to 10,000 subscribers for all three of those pieces. And then we have the gold chains Roadsign gloves, which is a very weird looking collection because when you look at that, well, where's all the body? Well, that technically is the poncho, but yeah. I will sit here and say the skin creators have put an effort in to try and get hoodie and pants and other bits and bobs like accepted, but yeah. Whilst they've submitted it, it wasn't accepted. So I'm not sure what's going to become of this. Maybe on the horizon we get like tier 2 and tier 3 armor or something. We shall see. But looking at the state of that in terms of its sales, 2 days in, it had 5,000 subscribers. And with a quick little comparison to like the previous week, did we have anything close to 5,000 subscribers 2 days in? With the Heli Tier right there, 5,200 subscribers. So going back over to here, previous week once again, we can see that the Heli Tier reached up to around 9,000 subscribers. So I'm going to sit here and say for the likes of the Roadsign gloves, I'll do 8 to 9,000 subscribers. Will you develop into a much bigger collection or does it stop here? I don't fully know, but we're not really too worried about the likes of that. We'll save that for Wednesday. All right. So that was all the skins. We've got good suggestions for where they're going to likely end up at in terms of total sales. Look in the description. You'll see I have provided the numbers there as well if you forget. Cool. Right. So, this Wednesday, very, very, very interesting. As I said earlier, with all of them being abnormal, it's a wonderful advantage to have. So, just remind you, I will be streaming that day, 9 p.m. UK time. Look at the description for the links to my socials, and yeah, we'll go through all of it. I will guide you. If you don't fully understand all of it, I will guide you. You'll understand everything, and you can, become part of the weekly routine. Cool. Right. So, is there anything else that I should probably go over? Well, I feel like I should probably bring this up. I don't fully know all the details, but basically, apparently, this is Prince. If you know the likes of the people with the biggest rust inventories in terms of value and whatnot, well, this guy's like a gambling streamer, and apparently, two or so weeks ago, he actually had his account trade banned. I'm not sure if it's still trade banned, but yeah, it's here, this guy. You can see his inventory right here. I don't know if he's still banned. If anybody's more in the know in regards to this streamer and whatnot, could you clarify if he's still banned? Because look what he owns. He has a inventory here worth about $100,000 USD. He has 12 Alien Relic Custom SMGs. He has 28 big grins. All of that is now essentially gone. Like that he can't trade. So that can't be put back into the game, technically speaking. Very interesting in regards to the economy. All right, so we'll see what becomes of this, but I don't fully know if he's still banned because this did actually happen about 2 weeks ago. So feel free to offer me your input if you happen to know any better. Cool. Right, is there anything else that needs to be pointed out? Well, as I said a little bit earlier, please keep an eye on Twitter because I'm pretty sure within the next 2 weeks, an official announcement for Face Punch's plans for what they're going to do for the Twitch drops and a potential Twitch event will be revealed. All right, I'm pretty sure what it is, but it's not official, so I'm not going to say it. I'm sure you probably already know what it is as well, but yeah, keep an eye on the workshop. People will be announcing things, and that's when it's official. Cool. I guess we can now hop back over to here and just look at the previous weeks and see how they're currently going after about 2 weeks. So, looking at the likes of August 15, 2024, well, you're good. You're doing good. We know about that. You're holding up okay. You're doing good. We're well aware of that. The Juggernaut Furnace down by a fair bit. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? But kind of not too surprising. The Rainbow Pony Pump Shotgun. You've actually turned out quite alright for now. Let's see if you can keep it up and keep improving. Very nice. Heater Sir. Not too surprised, I'm afraid. This wasn't exactly a super in demand skin, especially compared to the previous week. We had the Abyss Sir. Then we had the likes of the Bird of Luck MP5, and it looks like it's following the AK, which is quite unfortunate. The Quarantine Tools, they didn't really sell that much, and they're holding up quite alright. And then we have the Recycled Hazmat Bow. That only did 4,700 subscribers. I was questioning, could that potentially be pumped in the future? Is it something to keep our eyes on? Well, you probably should keep your eyes on it, because apparently there's only 3 listings. Nobody is wanting to list theirs below $4, and people have actually bought some of them, like above $3, because I guess they were desperate. But who knows? Could this potentially be manipulated in the future? It didn't really sell that much, and one of the more recent bow skins that was pumped just so happened to be the Pumpkin Bow, which only did like 4,400 subscribers, so keep your eye on it. But I would sit here and say, is it worth that price? Not really. People didn't want to buy it when it was in the Rust store for $2. I don't imagine it's actually worth that price. But due to scarcity, yeah. And then we had the likes of the, week before, for August 8th, we had the likes of Ultramarine Large Box doing okay. We've already brought that up. Oh, Neon Core. Are we going to see more Neon skins being accepted, or is that it? Like, is that it for Duck now? We shall see. I thought we'd still see the likes of the remaining small boxes. Maybe for September if we do have complete the sets. Keep your eyes open. So we'll see. But down 14. Oof. And yeah, the Abyss Star did go down by 25%, but we did bring that up. So this isn't too much of a surprise. I'm buying a lot of these at the moment for about just shy of $2, but I'm fine with that. I expect that to work out ever so nicely in the future. Maybe summer of 2025. And we already talked about you, and you're glow in the dark, so we're not surprised about that. You're already down by a little bit, so I'm fine with that. Yeah, not too surprised. If loads of people already had the Crowley double barrel shotgun, not surprised to see double baguette isn't exactly holding up very well. And Neanderthal, well, oh dear. Yeah, down by 30 each. Ooh. So that was just a quick little recap in regards to the skins from previous weeks. This week's Rust Store, very cool. Sorry about recording this at this time, but yeah, I wasn't feeling very well last night. Just have a good one. Best of luck to you and your investments. I'm done. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.